Oh, what's up, gang? Happy Thursday. My name's Christian. I'm a teacher here at Space Yoga Studio. This is Thursday, so it's normally Langley's class session, but we switched this week, so you get me instead. It is almost that time. We got probably about 5 minutes before we're going to get started, so if you're watching this live, good to have you. If you're playing this back, you got a couple minutes. Get your mat rolled out, go light a candle, put some music on, and it's good to be with you. We're going to get started here soon. What is up? I'm just making sure everything is set up where we can see. Yeah, there's the mat. Perfect. It's Christian, and it's Thursday, and it's good to be with y'all. Typically, and I already talked to this other camera over here. Hey. We have two different devices going for two different platforms that we stream out across. So this is Thursday. Ordinarily, it is Langley's time to be with y'all, but we switched. So you get me today. My name's Christian. I teach here at Space Yoga. And we're going to be doing some beginner power flow today, like slow power flow. So if that's what you're into, you're in the right place. If it's not, stay anyway. It'll be awesome. I'm going to back up here. We got just a couple of moments. That's why we usually get on early. To give you an opportunity to get set up, get yourself situated, turn on any music or light any candles or anything that you want. That's it. If you have any questions about today's practice or about anything regarding the studio, please feel free to put it in the comment section of either of these streaming services that we're using. Monica Acosta, the owner and director, will get back with you accordingly to answer said questions. Trying to hit all these wave buttons. What's up? It's good to have y'all, and it's a beautiful day. Part of me considered doing this outside, but there's a Wi-Fi issue with that. But I'm here at the studio, hopefully looking towards the middle or third week of the month, I think. Don't quote me on that, even though this is recorded. Dang it. But yeah, get with Monica. She's making sure that everything she does is on the up and up in terms of all the reopening guidelines and everything. We want to make sure everybody that comes to the studio is safe. So that's it. Also, if you feel compelled to, there's been a lot of Instagram posts going out recently about Project Create Space, ways that you can support that effort. We've had t-shirts go out. At any time, though, you're allowed to go online to spaceyogastudio.com, and there's a link in there where you can process donations for the nonprofit portion of the studio that supports taking yoga into underserved populations for individuals who would not ordinarily be able to access such a practice. So that's all the housekeeping stuff, I think. I'm gonna take my glasses off and just keep looking back and forth at the different cameras. And back up here onto my mat. We're gonna get going here in just a moment. It's 4:58, I believe. Yep. We're gonna start seated. So if you got everything set up at home or wherever you're at, we're starting seated, crisscross applesauce. Hey, namaste. Yeah, we're gonna get going. Just for expectation purposes, this will last about 45 minutes. We'll have some like ramping up in the beginning. We'll focus on our breathing, go through several posture sequences, and we'll end with some quiet reflection time, probably about 2 to 3 minutes. Nothing creepy, for recorded sake. That's it. Happy Thursday. You will not need any props for this class, unless, of course, you actively practice with those anyway. Like I mentioned, this is a beginner-based class. If you are a beginner and you need blocks and you have them at home, please feel free to keep them nearby and make any modifications that you feel are necessary for you. If you need a bolster, use it. Use whatever makes your practice the most comfortable and enjoyable. But I will not be introducing any postures today that would take anybody way out of their comfort zone. We're not going to be doing any like major balancing or inverted stuff. So this is a beginner-based practice, approachable by everyone. So I'm going to have a seat, just like I promised you I would. And we're going to get started. Hopefully, that's probably adjust these a little. Let's see how that is. Yeah. Okay. So it is that time. It is 5 o'clock. It is yoga time. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and it's time to get on our mat and give ourselves permission to just get what we need for the next 45 minutes. Whether that is something that we need physically from this time, maybe it's something that we need emotionally or spiritually. Give yourself permission to set an intention that allows you to experience whatever you need to experience in the next few moments. While you're doing that, I invite you to close down your eyes. Make sure you're comfortable. Sitting up nice and straight, nice and tall and strong. Arms can be resting on those thighs, on your knees. Just begin to focus on our breath. Not trying to change it too dramatically at this point. No big, huge inhales just yet. We're just noticing where it's at today. Maybe you've been working at home. Maybe you've been wrangling your kids, or maybe you're out walking your dog, or whatever it is that you've been doing today. Just take notice of where you're at in this moment as you begin to practice. Hopefully you've had time to formulate that intention. Maybe you see it as a phrase or a word behind your eyelids if you have your eyes closed. Just kind of lock onto it. When you have it, you take that first big intentional breath in through the nose, trying to fill up that whole body cavity like it was a balloon, and then exhaling out through the mouth. One more time, big breath in through the nose. Holding at the top. And exhaling out through the mouth. You can open up those eyes now. You take another big breath in. Raise those arms up overhead. And exhaling, floating them back down. One more time, big breath in. Arms go up. Nice. Big stretch. Floating them back down one more time as we exhale. All right, arms go back up. This time, as they come back down, we're gonna twist to the right and bring that right arm behind us. The left hand goes to that right knee, just as an anchor point. And that twist is generated through our core. So we're not leaning back into this arm. We're still sitting up nice and tall. And I'm not using this arm to like cork me around even further. I'm just anchoring myself there. You take that gaze out over that right shoulder. Untwisting and bringing those arms back up overhead. And then twisting down to the left this time. And twist. I'll stay twisted on. Circle back around, facing out. Uncurling once more. And then hands down to heart center. All right, we're going to straighten these legs out. We're going to hinge at the hips and just walk our hands down our legs, reach for those toes. We're just going to take a couple of moments and warm everything up before we really get to stretching in deeper. Rising back up. We're going to send those legs out wide. Wide as they'll go for you. I want you to take that right foot, tuck it back in, and then we're just going to reach out for this left foot. Rising back up. We're going to swap these feet out. Right leg extends. Left foot comes tucked in. Turn our chest towards that right foot now, and we're just going to reach out for it. Went for a nice long run on the Palmetto Parkway this morning. This is all feeling pretty fantastic. Rising back up. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together now. You're going to reach down and grab the blade edges with both sets of hands. I don't want you to use that, once again, as an anchor point to like crank yourself down. Just want you to release your chest down towards your feet to the degree that you can. You can keep these arms kind of straight and inside. It's also appropriate to take the elbows kind of to the knees and press down to get a little bit more opening of the hips and the groin. Rising back up as easily as we can. Now we're just going to make our way, swinging around on all fours. So bringing those hands to plant up underneath our shoulders, knees directly beneath our hips. Knees are about hip distance apart as well. Hands are shoulder distance apart. And we have that nice tabletop back. We're going to go through several of our cat-cow progressions. So as we breathe in, we'll roll our hips, pressing the navel down towards the mat. For a cow posture. Exhaling. Pulling the navel up in. Getting a nice little curve in the back, pushing up and away out of those hands and going chin to chest. For a cat posture. Back to cow, breathing in. Exhaling. Back to cat. Just go through a couple of those on your own now, with your own breath. Do about one more of each, and then meet me back at that neutral tabletop back position. All right, we are going to walk those hands back to meet those knees. Come into a kneeling position, sitting back on those heels. We want to go ahead and continue getting everything ready before we move into even more deeper stretches like I was mentioning. So taking that right hand, that palm facing away from you, facing the wall across from you, flexing back on those right fingers with the left hand. Trying to warm up our wrists here. Flipping that palm over, now gentle pressure on top of the hand. Opposite arm, left palm, right hand, flexing back on those fingers. Flipping that hand over once more, gentle pressure there. And you determine what gentle is, or what feels good, what feels right is probably the best way of saying it. Yoga should never hurt. But you should know that working edges, and only you can determine that. Just gonna roll those wrists out. Both directions. We're going to do the same with our neck real quick. So we're going to take that right ear towards the right shoulder. Rolling forward to center, chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. And then rolling back, opening up our throat some. Go through those stations one more time. Chin to chest. Left to left again. All right, that feels better. We're going to work our way back onto all fours now. And I'm going to extend back with my left leg, because that's the one facing the camera. You can choose to start on whatever side you want. Just going back to the toes and the ball of the foot with that left leg. Keeping my gaze down in between my hands. Lifting that leg up. Parallel with my back. Well, parallel with the floor, even in line with my back. And then reaching that opposite arm, that right arm, out long and in front. For our spinal balance posture. Bring that hand back down first. And the toes, then the knee. You don't have to turn around. I'm just making sure I stay in line with the camera. So now going back to the toes and the ball of the foot on that right leg or that right side. Lifting that leg up, keeping that foot flexed so the toes are down. And then reaching that opposite arm out long and in front. And comes back down first. And toes, and knee. We are going to bend or engage both sets of toes, so curling them under. We're going to send our hips up for our first down dog practice. You can alternate, dropping those heels towards the floor, creating space and length in the backs of the legs. One more time on each leg. Come forward and plank, and then release down slow, elbows to ribs, uncurling both sets of toes. Forearms planted out in front of us. We are going to go through some core warm-ups and continue moving through kind of our legs at the same time. So we're going to pick up that right leg first, hovering it above the ground, extending that left arm out long and in front. Coming back down. This time we're going to hover opposite leg. It'll be the left leg for me. So I'm keeping this right leg and this right hip pinned to the ground. Extending that opposite arm out in front. Coming back down with both. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and extend these arms out in front of us. And we are going to pick up both arms at the same time, keeping our hips pinned to the ground. Coming back down. This time we'll be doing our legs and keeping our arms pinned to the ground. Legs go up. Breathe in deep. Legs back down. All right, gang. We're getting moving now. We're going to do arms and legs at the same time. So it'll be a big breath in through the nose, hold. Legs will go up, arms will go up, hips will stay pinned to the ground. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Keeping those toes pointed. And back down. We're gonna do that one more time. Big breath in. Arms and legs go back up. And back down. Now we can bring those forearms back to that Sphinx setup. Just even with the ground out in front of us. Extend that left arm back out. And then take this right hand and reach for this right ankle. One more breath here. Releasing gently so the foot doesn't snap back. Coming back to our Sphinx arms. We're going to extend that opposite arm. So for me, that's my right arm. And then we'll reach back to my left hand for that left ankle or left foot. One more breath here. Releasing gently. Bringing our hands back to those Sphinx arms. We're going to curl both sets of toes. We're going to have a big push up to down dog again. And slowly drift those knees back down to the mat till we're back on all fours once more. We're going to walk those hands back to meet those knees again. We're in our high kneeling position. We're not sitting back on our heels anymore. We're going to stay up here at times. Choose which leg you want to send out first. We're just going to pop one leg out in front of us. Knee is slightly set back from that foot so that I can extend forward into a low lunge. And if this is where you're at today, you can stay right here. You can also bring those hands up overhead. Bring those arms back down. We're going to fold forward and put both sets of hands on the inside of this lead foot. Keeping this, out towards you can see, keeping this knee pinned up against this tricep. We're going to curl the toes on this back foot and engage this leg and this knee up off the ground. Pushing back through this heel. Dropping that center of gravity through our hips. It's a great runner stretch. We're going to bring this knee back down gently. Uncurl those toes. Stand back up. And then slide this leg back into place. And swap it out for the other one. All right. So lunging forward again until that knee stacks up over that ankle. Arms come up and over, slight bend to the back. Really pressing those hips forward trying not to let this knee sway out too far. We'll be here for one more breath. Arms come back down. We're going to hinge at the hips. Bring both sets of hands inside this lead foot. Curl the toes in the back and engage this knee up off the ground. Bringing that knee back down gently, uncurling those toes, rising back up. We're going to slide the leg back into space. Walk our hands back forward. Curl those toes again, push back up into down dog. We'll hang out here for just one breath. And then walk those feet up to meet those hands. So we're in our standing mountain pose. Arms come up way overhead. Big breath in. Hands down through heart center as we exhale. And we're standing. So here in mountain, similar to child's pose, which we didn't do while we were still down. You can take a moment, check back in with your breath, check back in with the intention that you set. We've done several holds now on some big muscle groups through the postures we've been through. So we can just take a moment for ourselves, pause before we move on. All right. So we're about halfway through our practice for today. I've just moved up to the top of my mat. I'm about one pace off the top of it. That'll give me all the room that I need to work backwards. We're going to go through several sun salutations and incorporate a little bit of the warriors into those. So feet, hips distance apart. Right, now you just eyeball that. Hands at heart center. And we will breathe through everything that we do in terms of movement. So big breath in here. As we exhale, hinging at the hips, butt goes back, hands to knees, halfway lift. Exhaling again, releasing the hands and the head down for forward fold. Slight bend in the knees, plant those hands. Step back to plank. Pushing back through both sets of heels here. Wrists are below the shoulder. We're going to release down slow. Elbows to ribs. Uncurl those toes. And we're going to find our back bend today. So pushing up away from the mat, keeping our hips pinned. Floating back down. Curling the toes again, big push up to down dog. Walking those feet up underneath those hands again. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Don't forget to breathe. Rising up, arms come up overhead again. Hands down through heart center. I'm going to step back with my right leg first because it's facing y'all into my Warrior 2 setup. If you don't know what that is, so this front foot is still tracking forward as if I was in mountain pose. This back foot is facing in the direction of my hips now. Feet are about 3 paces apart. My knee is offset from my foot, so I'm going to lunge forward now until that knee stacks over that ankle. I got weight in the blade edge of my back foot. I'm fully engaged in forward lunge here. Arms go up in either direction. My gaze is out across that front hand. I'm going to straighten this front knee up. Arms come up. Big breath in. And then sink it back to Warrior 2. You're going to take this back arm and pin it behind the small of the back. Flip that front palm over. Lift that arm up. Still under tension in terms of the lunge. Back to Warrior 2. Take this front forearm to this front thigh. This back arm comes up and over and out in front, creating a lot of space in the side body. Back to Warrior 2. And then we're just going to step out. All right, hey legs. Told you, slow power. I wasn't kidding. You don't have to move around on your mat. I'm just moving so that I am positioned correctly for y'all. So we're going to go through that again so that we can do the opposite side. Here we are back in our mountain pose, feet hips distance, hands in heart center, big breath in. Exhaling to halfway lift. Releasing the head and hand down for forward fold. Slap into the knees, plant those hands, step back to plank. Nice strong body, nice straight lines. From the crown of your head to your heels. We're going to release down slow. Elbows to ribs. Find our back bend again. Releasing back down. Pressing back up into down dog. Walking those feet underneath those hands. Forward fold. We always work our way back out the same way we went in. Halfway lift. And we're rising up, arms come back up overhead. Big, long stretch. Fingertips to toe tips. Hands down heart center. We're going to step back on that opposite side now. So, whichever side you didn't do first. Stepping back about 3 paces. Feet are tracking in the right directions. I'm going to sink this front knee until it stacks over that ankle. Arms come up in either direction. And I'm sitting my center of gravity low in my hips. So I'm really sinking right there in the center. Straighten this front knee up. Arms come up and over. Big breath in here. Sink it down low again. We're going to take that back arm and pin it back behind the back. Front palm flips over. Arm comes up and overhead. The gaze goes with that hand towards the ceiling. Back to warrior two. Front forearm goes to that front thigh. And that back arm comes high overhead and out in front. And I'm not leaning into this front thigh. I can just pick it up here. Still have all that tension in my base. Back to warrior two. And then just step out. Very good, gang. All right, we are going to go through the sun salutation sequence one more time. Back to our mountain pose. Big breath in. Exhaling, halfway lift. Hips and butt go back. Hands to knees. Forward fold. Plant those hands, step back to plank. Pressing back through both sets of heels here. Engaging that core, pushing away from the hands. We're going to release down slow. Find that back bend today one more time. Releasing back down. Curl those toes, push back up to down dog. Walk those feet up to meet those hands. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Rising up, arms come up overhead. Hands down through heart center. Very good. So we'll just take a moment here. We're at the bottom portion of our practice now. Just to check back in real quick. That was a lot of time under tension in the warrior sequences, so we'll catch our breath for just a moment. And maybe you don't need to. It's okay. It's just an intentional pause button. We should all give ourselves more permission to do it on a day-to-day basis. We deserve it. Okay. As easily as you can. It may seem kind of awkward, but these are punctuated practices we do. Just make yourself seated again, or make your way back down to seated as easily as you can, as comfortably as you can. When you get there, we're going to have the soles of the feet on the mat in front of us. We're going to be sitting up nice and straight. We're going to do a little bit of core stuff before we finish up. We're going to do both because it's a pretty day outside, and seems fitting for boating. You can have your hands out in front of your knees as such. Probably would make more sense to have them just behind your thighs or underneath your knees. Remembering to sit up nice and straight. I can see myself in the camera, so that's more for me than it is for you. I have no way of judging you. We are going to gently begin to rock backwards, right? The idea is not to roll back into our backs, but to get these feet to where they are weightless. And we can hover them above the mat, like so, balancing on our sit bones. Our calves are now parallel with the mat, similar to what we did in the beginning with our spinal balance posture. And this is our high assisted boat. You take these hands off the legs. Now we're in high unassisted boat. Really need to engage your core here. But bring those hands back to the legs. Roll back forward. We're going to go from high boat to low boat 3 times. And then we will be done for the day. So when we get to low boat, don't follow with me at home right now. I'm going to show you low boat real quick, and then I'll come back up and then we'll all do it together. So we'll rock back into high boat. Hands come out. We're going to drop down, keeping our feet and our shoulders off the floor. So we're in this hollow body posture. All right. Back up. And then back down. And then back up. Yeah? Y'all still with me? Did anybody click on YouTube or Instagram now? Okay. All right. If that is not accessible for you today, you do not have to do it. Like I said at the top of the practice, meet yourself where you're at. High boat's all you got. Do high boat. Took me a really long time, 2 years to be exact, to be able to make that transition without having to like grab a hold of my mat and pull myself back up. So it just takes time, like with anything in life. All right, here we go. We're gonna do this together. So hands to the backs of the thighs. We're gonna begin to rock back slowly till we find our balance point. Feet come up, hands come out. We're going to go from high boat to low boat. Back up. Back to low boat. Back up. Low boat. Hold it here. One more breath. Back up. Yeah. Good job, gang. So, I'm just gonna put us back where we started at. Here in easy pose, crisscross applesauce. We are towards the end of our practice. I'll invite you to close your eyes again. Once more, you can focus on your breath. Like I mentioned, we will exit this practice the same way we went into it, like we do with our postures. You don't have to attempt to change your breath at all. Just let it naturally occur. And it'll settle on its own as you begin to settle. How did you do with your intention? Did you lose sight of it? Did that plan go out the window when the time when retention began? Were you able to stay focused on it? Maybe your intention next time should be to be more intentional with yourself. Just enjoy this moment of calm, peace, and serenity. In a life where those things are so hard to come by sometimes. If you will join me, hands to heart center, chin to chest. I want to thank you for choosing to practice with me today. Thank you for trusting me to lead you. You are worthy. You are deserving. You are enough. And the light within me sees, honors, and respects the light within each of you. Namaste. All right, gang. If you liked what you saw, we will be here every day until this whole quarantine and self-isolation and social distancing is over. Every day at 5 p.m., there are lots of really talented teachers who have been online and will continue to be online for you because these practices are important. You're important. So thanks for joining us, and hope you have an amazing rest of your week. And can't wait to see you when the studio reopens. I teach the beginner classes here. Not sure what the schedule is going to look like when the studio opens, but I would love to meet you in person. And thanks for being here.